Hi BookTube, here I am with Beautiful Hardbacks Part 2. We'll get straight in, and the first one I've got to show you is an edition that I've got of Dickens at Christmas. I don't know if you can see the detail on that. I'll try and zoom in. And that is like, you know, the beautiful Victorian shop window. You can see it's sort of like, you know, abundant with Christmas fur. And it's absolutely beautiful, and it carries on all the way around. Absolutely stunning book. Beautiful. And this is sort of a collection of Dickens Christmas stories. The end papers are just beautiful red with like almost like snowflakes, little designs that give the impression of snowflakes. And then it's just plain blue with silver embossed Dickens at Christmas. But yeah, absolutely beautiful. And there's sort of, you know, little shiny bits on the cover that gets picked up. Sort of things on the, if you can see the little detail there, it's this bit is actually shiny. I don't know if you can see, it doesn't pick it up that well. And again, the little basket of, I'm not sure what it is, some kind of plant, all shiny. So yeah, absolutely beautiful. The next one is the first in the Sydney Chambers Murder Mystery Grantchester Mystery series, and this is The Shadow of Death by James Runcie. These hardback editions are absolutely beautiful. They've all got like this sort of vintage kind of illustrations on the front of them. Absolutely beautiful editions. I've got all the hardbacks. I've not read any of them yet, but I've got all of the editions in this series in hardback because they're absolutely beautiful. That's what they look like on the spine, so they look gorgeous lined upon the shelves. It's just plain white end papers and like a lovely mauvey purpley kind of inside with like shiny gold embossed writing on it. So yeah, absolutely beautiful. And this is sort of like, this is about a curate or a vicar or something who turns detective, and I think it's set in the 50s in England, and so it's a bit, you know, in the vein of like the Agatha Christie type cosy crime kind of books. Series has been on, in fact there's been 2 series of it on BBC, and heard great things about them. I've got them all stored up to watch, just need to read the books first because that's the law. The next one I've got to show you is Perfect by Rachel Joyce, and Rachel Joyce wrote The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry. I'll just focus on the little dandelion that's blowing away there. And inside there's like on the French flap, there's like a lovely little cosy armchair illustration there. And I'll just read to you what it's about. And it says, in 1972, 2 seconds were added to time. It was in order to balance the clock time with the movement of the earth. Byron Hemming knows this because James Lowe has told him, and James is the cleverest boy at school. But how can time change things? Sorry, but how can time change? The steady movement of hands around the clock is as certain as their golden futures. Then Byron's mother, late for the school run, makes a devastating mistake. Byron's perfect world is shattered. Were those 2 extra seconds to blame? Can what follows ever be put right? So that's what this is about. And then if I take the flaps off, this is what it looks like underneath. This is the actual naked hardback. Absolutely stunning, beautiful sort of pale blue colour. And then the illustrations carry on all the way around. Absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, so beautiful, beautiful. And it feels quite, sometimes they can feel quite matte, the covers underneath, but this is kind of glossy and feels like it's been almost varnished. It's shiny and kind of silky feeling to it. So that's Perfect by Rachel Joyce. The next one I've got to show you is The Humans by Matt Haig. Matt Haig wrote Reasons to Stay Alive, which I know a lot of people are reading at the minute and absolutely loving. He also wrote The Radleys, which is about dinosaurs. He's quite a humorous writer. And it says on the back, one wet Friday evening, Professor Andrew Martin of Cambridge University solves the world's greatest mathematical riddle, then he disappears. The Humans is his story. So that's that. So you've got the dog on the front, and then brace yourself. These are the end papers. Absolutely fluorescent bright yellow. Yeah, So that's kind of cool and funky. And then it's just sort of a matte, sort of almost clothy feel, and Matt Haig on the spine. And then on the back of it, I'll just show you, there's a little, I think it's a little squirrel going along the fence at the back. So yeah, quite cute, beautiful. So yeah, so that would show you again, wake you up in the morning if you wanted to read that one. The next one I've got is The Last Runaway, and this is by Tracy Chevalier, who wrote Girl with the Pearl Earring, which if you've not read is amazing, you really should read it. And it's just sort of like all the different corn all the way around. And this seems to be a book that follows Quakers who are settling in America, in Ohio. It says, you know, and it's all about their settling. I'll just show you the inside. The end papers are almost like, you know, the old patchwork quilt designs. Absolutely beautiful. I'll read you what it says from the flap. And it says, when modest Quaker Honour Bright sails from Bristol with her sister, she is fleeing heartache for a new life in America. Far from home, but tragedy leaves her alone and vulnerable, torn between two worlds and dependent on the kindness of strangers. Life in 1850s Ohio is precarious and unsentimental. The sun is too hot, the thunderstorms too violent, the snow too deep. The roads are spattered with mud and spit. The woods are home to skunks and porcupines and raccoons. They also shelter slaves escaping north to freedom. Should honour hide runaways from the ruthless men who hunt them down? The Quaker community she has joined may oppose slavery in principle, but does it have the courage to help her defy the law? As she struggles to find her place and her voice, Honour must decide what she's willing to risk for her beliefs. So, sounds good. And then it's just an absolutely gorgeous shade of red when you take the jacket off, with the title in gold. Yeah, so that sounds great. I do like a bit of historical fiction. I know it doesn't seem to be the sort of genre of choice for many booktubers, but I do like historical fiction, and as you might have seen from my previous videos, I really am interested in history. The next one, this is one of my most favourite books that I own, and this is Persuasion by Jane Austen. It's a Barnes & Noble leather-bound edition, and if you can see the gold inlay on it there, it's absolutely beautiful. I think Persuasion is possibly one of the lesser known of Jane Austen's books, but I think it's just so underrated. It's absolutely wonderful. It's probably my second favourite of hers compared to Pride and Prejudice. The story of Anne Elliot and the unrequited love and the longing, I just find it, oh, wonderful, love it, absolutely brilliant. And this edition is beautiful. And then I'll just show you the end papers, which are again absolutely stunning, beautiful. And it's sort of like the papers are sort of like a purpley colour, and this is what it's like when you open it up inside. Persuasion, Jane Austen. So yeah, absolutely beautiful. I adored this book. So it's got little sort of like, you know, just little details inside like that, and yeah, absolutely stunning, beautiful edition, just one of my favourites. I love it. The next one I've got to show you is, this is a book I picked up second hand actually, and it's in pretty good condition, and this is Edna O'Brien's House of Splendid Isolation, and it's a very plain cover, but it's just got this beautiful autumn leaf with a hole in it there. And on the back it's got an absolutely stunning picture of Edna O'Brien herself looking absolutely gorgeous, and this sort of tells you when Josie, confined to bed in a dilapidated country mansion, sees the door swing back and the hooded face appear, she knows who it is. Into her world comes McGreevy, bloody crusader for a united Ireland, who has chosen her isolated house for sanctuary. In brilliant and ferocious vignettes, O'Brien charts the two opinions and offers the heated argument that serves as a parable for the dilemmas which lies at the soul of Ireland today. Within the incarcerating walls of the house, an undercurrent of love develops between two people who think differently but feel the same. Destiny has flung them together, and as the police net closes in, fear dawns in Josie that McGreevy has used her house for more than refuge. There is no escape for either of them. So yeah, it's good, and it's just got red on the inside and sort of like a lovely kind of mauve hardback. So that'll be the first Edna O'Brien I've read, but I believe she's an amazing writer. And the final one for today's edition is the long-listed Man Booker book for 2015, and that is The Chimes by Anna Smale. And that looks just like I don't know if you'd call it a violin or a cello. Absolutely beautiful. And this apparently is where I think it's quite dystopian, where we're all sort of controlled by the chimes of the clock or the music. So it's just got white end papers and just a plain blue, but the outside is absolutely beautiful. And let me see what it says about it. A boy stands by the roadside on his way to London, alone in the rain. No memories beyond what he can hold in his hands at any given moment. No directions, as written words have long since been forbidden, so us booktubers have got no chance. No parents, just a melody that tugs at him, a thread to follow, a song that stays if he can just get to the capital. He may find some answers about what happened to them. The world around Simon sings, each movement a pulse of rhythm, each object weaving its own melody, music ringing in every drop of air. Welcome to the world of the chimes. Here life is orchestrated by a vast musical instrument that renders people unable to form new memories. The past is a mystery. Each new day feels the same as the last, and before is blasphemy. But slowly, inexplicably, Simon is beginning to remember. He emerges from sleep each morning with a pricking feeling, a sense there is something he urgently has to do. In the city, Simon meets Lucian, who has a gift for hearing, some secrets of his own, and a theory about the danger lurking in Simon's past. So it sounds like a really, really cool read. So The Chimes. So I think this sounds like a little bit like being a menopausal woman like me, where your memory is just completely shattered. You've got no short-term memory, your long-term memory's fallen to bits as well. So maybe I'm actually living in this world, because it sounds quite familiar to me. But there you have it. That's something for all you youngsters to look forward to middle age. Let me know if you've read any of these and what you think of them, and I'll be back with another edition of Beautiful Hardbacks, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!